fans hobby. Oh boy, here's one that's long overdue.
Didn't we talk about this not too long ago?
Well, we didn't talk about her.
No, not this, but the that third party should do something like this since we're not getting it.
Oh yeah,
from official avenues.
So,
but go on. Sorry.
Fans Hobby sent out a teaser image of what is called MB-12 and a small little also teaser for MB-13, and it is that of. I mean, for those, the biggest way to tell who it is also is because of the Ginrai Power Master Prime that's with it, is that of Minerva. And I've been saying for a while now, like, Minerva has been long overdue for anything. And it's almost like it's money on the table. And the reason why I say that is because Minerva was one of those it still is one of those Transformer toys that the original Generation 1 toy goes for stupid money. And then you go, okay, it goes for stupid money. But if you're someone who has like a display and you go, okay, I want to have a Minerva figure in my display, you don't have anything. That's the thing. It's one thing like you could say like, oh man, like a G1 Prowl, he goes for like $120. But you have like all these other G1 Prowls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Minerva, it's like if you're a collector, if you have a masterpiece display or a classics display, you just have like no avenues. There's, you could have like a bootleg you could put in its place. Like there's like there's a Korean company called Aladdin that did like a kind of crappy bootleg of Minerva. It's not even the right colors, but you could kind of pick that up. You could take a G1 Nightbeat and paint it if you want. But we really never got a decent G1 looking Minerva toy in a classics form. We got human Minerva in the Goto Kuru series, which was like, like a figure of that. We got Minerva PVCs, but we just never got a transforming Minerva figure from an official or unofficial character standpoint.
Right.
And now finally someone's going to fill that gap. And here we have, again, MB-12 Minerva and MB-13 Go Shooter. Now Go Shooter didn't really need that because he actually did get a classics interpretation, and he got a whole bunch of other stuff too. I remember Azusa had a whole bunch of him at his table. But what's really cool about this is I almost feel like this is a third-party attempt at a Titan's Return Minerva, because it shows that it has headmasters that come with it. Well, at least one headmaster from Minerva in this case. And the headmaster looks very similar to that of the Titan Return headmaster. Just by the aesthetic of the way the body is shaped, it reminds me of a Titan Return headmaster or a Prime Master for some people. But this is really great because, man, this character's had zero. Absolutely zero. And it's cool that it looks like the Porsche. And what's awesome, too, about it is if there's success with this mold, they can then do a Nightbeat afterwards. But this is really cool and much needed, because just no one has a Minerva toy. Like, I have one, but I spent way too much money on one, to be able to own one. And I used to say for years, I'd be like, you know what, Takara, reissue Minerva. It's money on the table. People
I don't know why they haven't. They've been reissuing everybody else over and over.
So many times people would say, oh, well, maybe, just maybe. I think I was talking about it in the Discord chat. But it was like I was saying to people, I'm like, look, maybe they did lose the mold. Maybe it's a possibility. Okay. But while that has stopped Hasbro and Takara from releasing reissues, that has never stopped third party and bootleggers from stopping. Because like when Hasbro lost, supposedly, and I use air quotes here, when they lost the G1 Dinobot molds, and to this day they're still lost. And when we say lost, it means like somewhere in an office building in Rhode Island, there's a box that says Inhumanoids, and there's Slag's leg,
Oh, okay.
And then somewhere there's a box in Rhode Island in a factory somewhere, and it says G1 G.I. Joe Tunnel Rat molds, and in there is like Grimlock's head, So they're just misplaced is the better way to put it, at least according to a G1 Hasbro panel explaining what they mean by lost, meaning like it's somewhere. It's just a mess right now. And in the case of Nightbeat, maybe Nightbeat's mold is lost, but when it comes to third-party companies and bootleggers, that has never stopped them before, because when they wanted to make bootlegs of the G1 Dinobots, they reverse engineered it. They just took G1 Dinobot toys and just made brand new molds from them. And they do that all the time when they're bootlegging stuff. So, and in the same way, third-party companies up to this point, I'm surprised they never attempted to just do anything. Just do anything. Like, you know, like there's so many jazz third-party stuff that's been put out throughout the years. I'm surprised not a single third-party company went, you know, why don't we grab this jazz and turn it into Minerva? Or even like, you know, Dead End from like all the Menasor third-party have been coming out. Take that Dead End mold, which is also a Porsche, you know, retool it, put a spoiler on the back. Yeah, sure, now it's a combiner Minerva piece. But the point is, it's like it's a way to put a Minerva toy out there, and it would have been money that they could have easily made, just repainting even, let alone making a brand new mold. But I think that, I don't know, maybe the interest wasn't there. Maybe they were just too busy doing the 50th, you know, Superion repaint or something. I don't know. Sometimes I've always wondered about the choices. But
well, maybe I think it also I would say it probably shows because in the sense of like they don't really recapture that name, I guess. You know, it's not like they've been like, oh, we have to save this name and okay, we're gonna put it on this toy, put it on this toy, put it on this toy, and we'll eventually get to it. I guess they don't feel that the interest is really there outside of like a few hardcore people that just need to fill that gap. You know,
Masterforce is unfortunately, even though I always say it's one of the best Transformer series, it's still kind of niche from the mainstream standpoint. And Minerva being a character that really only exclusively appeared in that. Yeah, she made a cameo in Victory and, you know, little things here and there. But really, Masterforce was her series. And her being a rare toy stems from the fact that, again, people weren't buying back then. So that's what made her a rare toy, on top of other things, on top of being the first ever retail female character in a mass release, in Japan at least. And a lot of other things.
Maybe we're spoiling that next repaint, that next retool of that Moon Chaser into Minerva or something.
Oh, the Moon Racer, yeah. You know what? Again,
they would just do one all in white, and they would probably release it for, when would be a good time? I would say probably like some Japanese festival or something like that.
Or even,
because doing an SEC one, I think wouldn't really make all that much sense.
I think the only thing that stops Minerva from getting a stateside release is just what do you trademark that name?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's something that it's like, oh God, what do you call it? You know, you can't call it Minerva. You would have to call it something else. So it's like in Japan, it's not an issue. It's not an issue over there. Trademarking names for product is not a big issue, but trademarking products for America, it's like they'd have to call it like, you know, Autobot Minerva, or they'd have to like just create a stateside name for it. Just
is
like
Minerva even a thing? Is like that?
No,
even
it isn't.
A thing?
No, again, Minerva.
Unless someone's sitting on it right now.
Well, let's put it this way: Minerva, if she ever was a thing in America, it's a Nightbeat toy. You know what I mean? Like Minerva, like in Japan, they got Nightbeat as a Mailway exclusive, and it was called Nightbeat Minerva. Like it was, and which was just straight up the Nightbeat toy that we got over here. So and we've gotten classics versions of Nightbeat, which never got repainted into Minerva. Mm-hmm. Like it's a weird kind of relationship that those two characters have, maybe primarily because of the gender swap that is involved with that same mold. It's a lot of things, but this is really cool. I can't wait to see more of this, and it's really cool that it kind of, you know, that it keeps the Headmaster gimmick and stuff, the Headmaster Jr. gimmick in this place. And it shows that we will probably get a Go Shooter too in MB-13. So fans, hobby, Minerva, development in progress.